We all think we know what charisma is, that special something that makes someone a great leader. But what if that whole idea is actually a trap? In this explainer, we're going to tear down that assumption and look at the huge difference between being magnetic and being a real leader. I mean, you know the feeling, right? Someone walks into a room or even just joins a video call and boom, the whole energy shifts. Everyone's drawn to them. And we all just instinctively point and say, yep, that's charisma. But here's the question that kind of flips everything on its head. What if that magnetic quality, the thing we admire so much, has almost nothing to do with the tough, messy work of actually leading? What if it's the opposite? Okay, so first up, let's dig into this big idea that we've all kind of bought into without even thinking about it. I'm talking about the charisma assumption, the belief that if you're charismatic, you're obviously a natural leader. Turns out it's a lot more complicated than that. The first thing we've got to get straight is this. Charisma is not magic. It's not something you're born with, like blue eyes. It's actually a set of skills, specific, learnable social signals that make other people feel good around you. It's all about projecting confidence, calm, and warmth. It's a skill you can practice. So, if charisma is a skill, a set of signals, what are they? Let's break it down. What's the unspoken language that makes someone seem so captivating? It really boils down to three main things. First, there's presence. This is that superpower of making someone feel like they're the only person in the world at that moment. Then there's confidence. And I mean that calm, cool self-assurance, not loud arrogance. And finally, warmth. That ability to project empathy and make people feel safe. A perfect example of this is Oprah Winfrey. Her charisma doesn't come from being the loudest person in the room. No way. It comes from her incredible ability to make her guests feel completely and totally seen and heard. That right there is charisma in action. See how it's all about the other person? Okay, so we've got a handle on charisma. Now let's put that on a shelf for a second and talk about leadership, because this is where things get really interesting and where we all get confused. Leadership is a totally different beast. If you strip away all the job titles, the suits, the corner offices, what is leadership at its most primal level? It's about one thing: risk. It's about being the person who steps up first into a scary or uncertain situation when everyone else is holding back. Now here's the paradox, and this is wild. When a leader steps up and takes charge, they automatically raise their own social status. It's just simple social physics. But if their status goes up, that means everyone else's status, relatively speaking, goes down a notch. And on a deep, instinctive level, we don't like that. We resist it. And all of this brings us right to the heart of the matter, the charisma trap itself. This is the big aha moment, where everything we've talked about just clicks into place. So here's the trap, laid out plain and simple. Charisma makes you feel good. It elevates your status, so naturally, you're drawn to the charismatic person. It feels safe and validating. But leadership, real leadership, does the opposite. It elevates the leader status, which creates friction and resistance in the group. So we're hardwired to prefer the person who makes us feel good, and we mistake that great feeling for great leadership. That's the trap. But here's the really cool part. Since charisma isn't some magical gift, but a skill, it means anyone, and I mean anyone, can learn to build it. So let's talk about how you can actually do that. And just to be super clear, this isn't about faking a personality or being someone you're not. It's about adding a powerful communication tool to your toolbox. It's about learning a few key behaviors that can completely change how you connect with the people around you. And you can start right away. Here are 3 super simple things to try. First, practice presence. In your very next meeting, put your phone away, all the way away, and just give your full attention. Second, project calm confidence. Just try slowing down your speech a tiny bit. It signals that you're in control. And third, show warmth. Publicly praise a coworker and use people's names. These are small things with a huge impact. So, you can probably see where this is going. It's not about choosing one over the other. It's not charisma or leadership. The most effective people understand that these are 2 different tools for 2 very different jobs. Think of it like this. Leadership is the engine. It's what actually drives forward, builds things, and gets results. But engines, by their nature, create friction and resistance. Charisma, that's the oil. It smooths things over, boosts morale, and attracts people to the cause. It makes the friction manageable. But oil by itself isn't going anywhere. So, what's the bottom line here? It's pretty straightforward. Leadership gives you direction. It's the what and the why. But charisma builds the trust and morale you need to actually make the journey. The real pros, the most effective people, they don't just have one or the other. They know exactly when to use each skill. At the end of the day, these are two distinct tools in your toolkit. Knowing when to push forward and when to connect and build trust, that's the real art of influence. So the question I want to leave you with is this. In your next big challenge, when are you going to lead and when are you going to charm?